Midnight, September 1979. A U.S. Customs agent at the Texas border waves through another truck and hears the axles groan. The truck is riding low, too low. He signals with his flashlight. The driver slows reluctantly. Under the tarp, silver bars, hundreds of them, gleaming in the flashlight beam like frozen moonlight. The agent has never seen anything like it, and he won't be the last. For 3 months, it happens every night. 40 trucks, one family, the same route, the same cargo, the same destination, somewhere beyond American jurisdiction. By the time anyone notices, over 100 million ounces of American silver are gone, vanished across the border, quietly, deliberately, like someone draining a bathtub one cup at a time. The Federal Reserve calls an emergency session, not for a war, not for a financial crisis, because silver is leaving. And when silver leaves, something is very, very wrong. Like Finney says, when you hear metal scraping pavement, someone's moving more than groceries. This is what happened and why it keeps happening. Welcome to Finney Chronicles, where history meets money, power meets consequence, and every story is a warning somebody ignored. Most commodities pick one job. Silver picked two. For 5,000 years, silver has been money, real money, the kind you can hold in your hand, the kind that doesn't need a bank's permission to exist. The first coins ever made were silver. The Spanish Empire ran on it. U.S. quarters were 90% silver until 1964. Your grandparents might still have some in a drawer somewhere, worth far more than 25 cents now. But silver is also in your phone, your solar panels, and every missile the Pentagon builds. Nothing conducts electricity better. Not gold, not copper, nothing. It's the invisible backbone of modern technology. So when silver starts leaving a country, two things break at once: the monetary system and the industrial economy. That's why governments pay attention. That's why they panic. Because losing silver isn't like losing oil or wheat. It's like losing your nervous system and your savings account at the same time. Like Finney says, most metals pick a lane. Silver runs both sides of the street. There's a reason empires die when silver leaves. Let me take you back to the 16th century. Spanish soldiers stumble onto a mountain in Bolivia so full of silver the veins glitter in the sun. They call it Cerro Rico, the rich mountain. Some historians estimate it was the single largest deposit of silver ever discovered. For 200 years, the treasure ships arrive full, overflowing with silver from the New World. Spain becomes the richest empire on earth. Kings bow to Spanish gold. Armies tremble at Spanish might. But here's the problem. The ships that arrive full, they leave empty. Spain wasn't an empire, it was a turnstile. Silver came in and flowed right back out. To pay foreign soldiers because Spain didn't have enough of its own. To buy imported grain and textiles because Spain didn't produce enough domestically. To finance endless wars that drained the treasury faster than the mines could fill it. The Spanish crown spent money like it would never stop coming. But mountains, even silver mountains, eventually run dry. By 1640, Spain, the richest empire on earth, the envy of every nation, is broke, bankrupt, finished. A cautionary tale written in silver and blood. Like Finney says, having wealth and keeping wealth are two completely different skills. Spain had one, not the other. Same pattern, different century. Spain lost an empire over silver. The Hunts lost a fortune. If you want to see the pattern no one talks about, hit subscribe. We're just getting started. Okay, back to the story. Meet the Hunt brothers, Nelson Bunker Hunt and William Herbert Hunt, sons of H.L. Hunt, one of the richest men who ever lived. His father struck oil in Texas and built a fortune that seemed impossible to spend. He was eccentric, paranoid, and brilliant. His sons inherited all three traits. By 1973, they're billionaires in their own right. Oil money, Texas money, the kind of wealth that buys politicians and builds dynasties. But they see something others don't. 2 years earlier, Nixon ended the gold standard. August 15, 1971, the day the dollar became just paper. No gold behind it, no silver behind it. Just a promise from a government that had already broken plenty of promises. The dollar is bleeding value. Inflation hits 11%. A dollar saved in 70 by 60 cents by 75. Think about that. Almost half your savings gone. Not stolen, just inflated away. Silently, legally, inevitably. The Hunts look at their billions and realize paper money is dying. They need something real, something the government can't print, Something ancient, something proven. Gold? Too regulated. The government controls it too tightly. Private ownership had only been legal again since 1974. But silver? Silver is dirt cheap. Factories need it desperately. Governments fear it quietly, and nobody on Wall Street is watching. It's the blind spot in the financial system, and the Hunts are about to drive a truck through it. So they start buying. Quietly first. 1973, they buy quietly. 1974, they buy more. 1976, they keep buying, year after year, warehouse after warehouse. They buy through shell companies, through foreign accounts, through networks designed to hide the scale of their accumulation. The price starts climbing. $5 an ounce becomes $10, then $20, then higher, and still they keep buying. By 1979, the Hunt brothers own over 100 million ounces of silver, 1/3 of America's entire silver supply, sitting in their private vaults, more silver than most countries hold in their national reserves, and Washington is watching, nervously. Like Finney says, there's hoarding, and then there's I'll take the whole forest.
Because the Hunts aren't just buying silver, they're moving it out of the United States, under cover of darkness, to Switzerland, to Mexico, to vaults the U.S. government can't touch, can't regulate, can't control. Every shipment is a message: we don't trust you anymore. Kodak, which needs silver for film, calls Washington in a panic. We can't get supply. Production is stopping. Defense contractors who build missile systems make the same call. The silver's gone. Our assembly lines are idle. The Federal Reserve realizes the Hunt brothers are draining America's strategic metal and moving it beyond U.S. control. This isn't market speculation anymore. This isn't just two rich brothers making investments. It's a national security crisis. Two private citizens are doing what no foreign enemy had ever accomplished, emptying America's silver vaults. Like Finney says, governments tolerate you getting rich. They don't tolerate you taking the money supply and burying it in Switzerland. January 1980, silver hits $49.45 per ounce, the highest price in history. Adjusted for inflation, that record still stands today. Silver fever grips the nation. People are melting their grandmother's silverware. Jewelry stores can't keep up with sellers. But in a boardroom in New York, men in suits are making different plans. The COMEX announces an emergency rule change. New rule: you could sell silver, but you couldn't buy any more. Read that again. You could sell, but you couldn't buy. Only liquidation allowed. The game changed mid-hand, and the Hunts were holding all the cards, or so they thought. The crash is instant, brutal, merciless. $49 to $11. 78 days, that's all it took. Billions of dollars in value erased. The greatest commodity collapse in American history. March 27, 1980, Silver Thursday. The Hunt brothers face margin calls they can't meet. Banks that once begged for their business now demand immediate payment. A consortium of banks forces a $1.1 billion bailout, not to save the Hunts, but to prevent their collapse from taking down the entire financial system. They eventually declare bankruptcy. A billion-dollar fortune vaporized. Two of the richest men in America ruined. Their name becomes a verb on Wall Street. To get hunted means to win until the rules change. The government didn't crush the Hunts for greed. Plenty of people are greedy. They crushed them because silver leaving threatens three things at once: the money supply, the missile supply, and the illusion that everything's fine. When silver leaves, it signals that the smart money is getting out. Throughout history, when people start moving physical wealth out of a country, collapse follows. It happened in Rome, it happened in Weimar Germany, it happened in Argentina and Venezuela. The pattern is always the same. First the wealth leaves, then everything else falls apart. Governments know this. That's why they panic. That's why they change the rules. Like Finney says, the House always wins, especially when the House writes the rules mid-game. And it's happening again right now. For the past decade, China's been importing massive amounts of silver. The official reason? Industrial demand. Solar panels, electronics, 5G infrastructure. All legitimate, all verifiable. But the question nobody can answer: how much of that silver is going into factories and how much is going into vaults? India tells its citizens to buy silver. It's cultural, it's traditional, it's smart. Indian households are estimated to hold thousands of tons, not in banks, in homes, under beds, in safes, beyond the reach of any government. And the U.S., the strategic silver reserve was sold off in the 2000s, gone. Every last ounce. COMEX inventories are at multi-decade lows. The cupboard is nearly bare. Meanwhile, the green energy transition is accelerating demand. Every solar panel needs silver. Every electric vehicle needs silver. every 5G tower, every advanced battery, every piece of military hardware. We're heading toward a structural deficit, more demand than supply, year after year. Is this the same pattern just with new players? Like Finney says, selling your emergency supplies during the good times is called fiscal responsibility. Realizing you need them during the bad times is called regret. The Spanish Empire had a mountain of silver and still collapsed. The Hunt brothers owned a third of U.S. silver and were destroyed because in both cases they misunderstood the game. Silver isn't just wealth, it's leverage, it's power, it's control. Governments will tolerate you owning silver. They've done it for centuries. They'll even encourage it when it suits them. But the moment you try to move it in ways that threaten the system, you become the enemy, not a criminal, not a traitor, something worse, a threat to the established order. When silver moves, governments react, markets shift, systems change. It's been that way for 500 years, and it's not stopping now. Like Finney says, you can own all the silver in the world, but if the forest decides it's not for sale, your pile just became a target. The Hunt brothers controlled more silver than most countries, and the system crushed them anyway. If that story changed how you see money and power, hit subscribe. We drop true stories like this every few days. Drop a comment. What's the modern equivalent? What's the next asset someone will try to corner and lose? Next up, America protected Venezuela. Well, until now, as now, they just attacked them. See you then.